inside your heart, is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee, because you only want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you?
What's up, guys? It's Itzlivyonna, and we're back again with another video. Anyway, if you don't know, I am joining the Navy, so I'm going to take you guys with me on this trip during my process. And I'm pretty sure I cannot record, but I am not for sure. So you will have a few snippets, a few pictures of what I see. Right now, I'm at the recruiting office. You get the options to drive there, or you can catch their sprinter. So they provide the ride. You just got to meet up here. So I'm gonna show you my office, the recruiting office. I don't know if y'all can see that. Y'all should be able to see that. And that's the office. And they're supposed to come pick us up around 9:30 in the morning. So I see y'all guys again once I get on the sprinter. Hey guys, so I'm gonna tell you about my Meps experience. It wasn't too bad. Honestly, it wasn't bad at all. A lot of people say you have to stay up for 48 hours, you don't get enough sleep, and blase, but I didn't have to. The only thing I would say, I can see where they got it from, because it is a pretty early wake up time. And of course it depends on where you coming from. So I wasn't that far from my Meps center. If I would have drove myself, it probably would have been maybe 2 hours, but I don't know. I haven't really Googled it or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure it would have been max 2 hours, like closer to an hour and 30 minutes. So first things first, we're gonna go over what to pack. So it is a 2-day process. So you want to go ahead and you want to pack your pajamas. You want to pack, you know, some lounge wear, just like something to wear while you're, you know, resting, you're in a hotel and you're just letting time go past and stuff like that. Then you want to pack your 2 or 1 outfit for the actual Mep days. The days that you're going to be in the building, that you're going to be processing, that you're going to be, you know, getting your eligibility, you know, tested and confirmed and stuff like that. So me personally, I only pack 3 outfits, and I wore my outfit for the first day of Meps on the second day of Meps too. So I had a black shirt, some blue jeans, and some sneakers. I packed some pajamas, and then I packed up activewear set because I did want to work out while I was there. And my activewear set also was my loungewear set. So the last thing I did right before I took a shower to go to sleep was work out, and then I wore the outfit for those few hours that were considered limbo while we were at the hotel. You want to make sure you pack your toothbrush, you know, a body wash if you don't like hotel body wash, you know, your own rag towel if you don't like hotel rags and towels. And I did bring a blanket and my face wash. It is only a 2-day process for the most part, so you don't really need that much. You don't need a duffel bag, you just need a regular school book bag and you should be okay. Even a tote bag should be fine, but I'll recommend getting something that you can, you know, tie or zip up so that way it won't fall out or anything. Make sure you bring your charger with the charger box, because not all hotels have the USB plug-in port. So yeah, it wasn't one on the TV, it wasn't like one on the lamps, it wasn't one anywhere, and that sucked because the only thing I brought was my cord. I had to ask someone to borrow theirs. So now that we know what you need to pack, let's talk about what you will be expecting, what you should expect once you get in and you start checking in and doing all that. Alright, so when you first get to the Meps station, you basically, you stand in line. You stand in line and you wait to be called. They go ahead and, basically give you what I would consider a glorified physical. Making sure you're healthy, making sure, you're not on drugs, making sure everything's okay with your sight, with your hearing, etc., etc. Now, after you get your physical, then you take your test. Now, you can study before arriving to Meps, before you get in the car, before you make your way there, and I 100% recommend that you do, because depending on how high or how low you score on your ASVAB or your PICAD, whichever one you take, it determines what jobs you can get once you enter. And so certain jobs you have to score a certain amount to actually get into it. And you can retake the test, but I think that's after you swear in. I don't think you get to retake the test before. Now, they do give you a practice test, and your recruiter will be like, hey, do you want to take our practice test? Well, that's part of the process. Before you actually take the official last test, you take the practice test. So the recruiter will have you sit down. You can do a proctor from home, or you can just do it at the recruiter office. And if you can take the test, and it'll tell you what categories you should work on, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So after you take the test, all you do from there is pretty much choose your job and then swear in. Now, I have to go twice because after I got my glorified physical, they still needed some more documents. So when I had to go again, I was just more so a lot of waiting, because I didn't have to do everything, and I had to wait for everybody else to get done and then do my stuff. I didn't have to do as much as everyone else. Now, the entire process, like for both sets of days, it was pretty simple. It wasn't stressful. It was calm. I wasn't like bored out of my mind. There were snacks. They fed us lunch. I mean, it felt like if you was to go, it felt like if you were at school and it's state testing week, it was for the most part quiet. You got to keep your voice at level 2. Don't bring any weapons. Try not to drink any caffeine or chocolate if you're not used to waking up at early times. And other than that, you should be pretty good. You know what to expect. You know what to pack. Now, what happens after you swear in? You go home. After you swear in, if you came by yourself, you can get in your car. You gotta make sure you sign out. Make sure you don't need nothing else. Make sure you're all finished, of course. But you can just sign out and leave. You go home. Now, once you swear in, they also give you your ship date for when you go to boot camp. And then they tell you, your bonus. They tell you how much you make. And, pretty much everybody in the armed forces, they make the same amount. It really just depends on your rank and how much of a difference. And you can Google that. You can definitely Google that. So what's next? What's next after you get your ship date? So once you go back home from being processed, you have to go ahead and make sure everything is gonna be okay back at your hometown. You want to make sure all your stuff is situated for. You're only going to be gone for 10 weeks, maybe longer, but typically boot camp only lasts about 10 weeks. It only lasts 10 weeks, 2.5 months. You make sure you got your clothes, make sure you got your things situated. Make sure your bills are set up for auto pay if you have any. Probably pause your car insurance if you can, and then, you know, have fun. You know, have a little fun before you go out to boot camp. Because once you leave boot camp, which I haven't been to boot camp yet, I go to boot camp in late September, mid-September. I go to boot camp mid-September. So it should be something. I'll make sure I take notes, and y'all will see that video on my YouTube page in a few months from now. But yeah, you go to boot camp, and then after boot camp is when you know for sure where your job station is going to be. Some people get to pick and some people don't, so you'll basically have like what's called a dream list once you finish schooling, and the people who score highest in your classes usually get first pick. So the dream list is basically you pick 3 places where you would want to go, and they'll tell you, or they'll try to get you in those places, but it might be like already accounted for. Somebody else probably could have taken it, if you know what I mean. So I don't know where I'm going to be stationed at, but I know my job specifically, all my stations are either going to be at shore stations or on the fleet units, which are basically the ships. And you know, I'm excited. I don't really know how I feel about, I like beaches, but a beach and a shore are not the same things. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that be like. And that's pretty much all I have to say now. So I'll see you guys later in the next video. Bye. So, you know, you got to get the video out. But the first question is, what made you start YouTube? Well, technically, I started YouTube when I was like